Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. So JJ Redick is furious with Stephen A. Smith for saying Kawhi Leonard should retire. That is a bit harsh. I'm not gonna lie, it is harsh, but you could understand. Stephen A. is frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. Clipper fans, NBA fans. So you could understand why Stephen A. Smith said what he said, even if it's a bit extreme. I get it. So JJ Redick had a big response to Stephen A. Smith after he made his comment regarding Kawhi and saying he should retire or Steve Ballmer should force him to retire. So this is what JJ Redick had to say. I mean, this is in the nicest way possible to both of you, Redick said, referring to Stephen A. and Chris Russo. But listening to each of you right now, it's very obvious that you've played zero high-level basketball, and you do not understand the requirement of doing that. A sprained ankle is very different than a sprained knee. A sprained knee for someone who has torn a quad tendon and who has torn their ACL is very different to someone playing on a hobbled ankle in the 1970s. It's a terrible analogy. I mean, shots fired. So Redick is saying Stephen A. Smith, obviously he hasn't played high-level basketball, which he hasn't. So he can't relate to what Kawhi is going through. And a lot of time that's true. The same way us fans was watching the game and we have never played high-level basketball, at least at an NBA level. So we're just talking. And yes, everybody's going to have their opinion, and say what's on their mind. I get it, but I understand what he's saying because he's saying Stephen A. is chirping, but he don't understand because he have never played at that level. So he's just talking. And that is cold, man. So that's shots fired, basically. I can't imagine that rubbed Stephen A. the wrong way. Redick even pointed out that Stephen A. said he didn't question Leonard's injury, only to do it in the next sentence. Redick went on to say, "You say I'm not questioning his injury," Redick said to Smith. "You just said we saw Paul George get hurt. We didn't see Kawhi get hurt. Let's give the guy some credit. He did it in Game 1. He went out there and battled Game 2. Guess what? If he could play, he would play. Do you not have any empathy for someone who has come back from 2 major leg injuries? Do you not?" So, whether you disagree or agree with Redick or you disagree or agree with Stephen A. Smith, we can all agree, unless you are Kawhi Leonard, you don't know what's going on with his body, with his injury, what's going on with him mentally. Once again, we are sports fans. We all have our opinions. We love the game. And it is frustrating not seeing one of your favorite players, our team, advance in the playoff. It is tiring, but what can you say? When it comes to Stephen A. in certain situations, yes, he can be a bit harsh, a bit extreme at times, if not most of the times. But this was checkmate, man. Like JJ Redick definitely checked him on this one. Even said, Stephen A. clearly haven't played basketball at a high level. So basically he's just chirping. He has no idea what high level basketball is like and, what comes with that. Recently and throughout the years, Stephen A. has been very critical of Kawhi. Whether it's personal or not, we don't know, but he has been very critical of Kawhi regarding his availability and his injuries. So I'm frustrated with Kawhi also. I wouldn't say he should retire. I'm not going to go that far, but it is frustrating because he's always injured. Man, he had that great run in Toronto. And once we heard the announcement Kawhi was heading to LA to play on the Clippers, everybody was excited. 2019, 2020 was a great year for basketball fans to hear that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is heading to the Clippers. And the Clippers already had a deep core, a very good core. So everybody was excited. People saying they're going to win it all, which they were favored to and they should have won. But the bubble happened, the pandemic. They didn't want to be there, but either way, they played. They went up 3-1 in the second round on the Denver Nuggets. Paul George got ahead of himself, started feeling himself. Oh, we're good. They end up losing that series. Fast forward, 3 years later, here we are. Another disappointing postseason. And Stephen A's out here doing his usual, being very critical of Kawhi. So even though Stephen A. Smith said Kawhi should retire, he didn't have that same sentiment for Victor Oladipo. So clearly, Stephen A. might have a personal thing going on with Kawhi. I mean, who knows? Because he's always very critical of Kawhi. But I don't know, man. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. As always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.